How real is rap fatigue? Oh, this shit's real. We talked about it a little bit yesterday. I'm going to go more in depth on it today. At the same time, people are tired of what's going on in rap. MAGA is having MAGA fatigue with what's going on with Trump. You seen the new Epstein files come out with Trump being right there with him. Trump's stance on Israel, Trump's interview with Laura Loomer the other day, where he said he basically sounded like Ramaswamy saying Americans are too stupid for these jobs and he needs the H-1B visa program. And do y'all know that they have job openings under H-1B visa program for basketball coach, for Spanish? All the Mexicans and Dominicans and Cubans here, what the fuck they need an H-1B visa program for a Spanish professor? That lets you know great replacement isn't just a theory. Just look at the jobs that they're offering people with H-1B visas. California just revoked 17,000 CDLs of people who were here illegally, according to the Department of Justice. And MAGA is hot. Unlike you Democrat stands who take whatever dick they shove down your ass and say, it's okay, at least it has whoopily boobily on it. The Republicans are saying, nah, we tired of getting fucked. And they are standing up, and I commend them for that. Although they're degenerates, they're no more degenerates than the Democrats. You know what I mean? The Democrats Republicans want to fuck up non-black people. The Democrats want to fuck children. You know the laws. Look, Newsom just allowed last year for people he loosened up some of them pedophilia laws just last year to where he made it to where people who are within 10 years of the victim, they don't get charged with the RAPE word. Yeah, it's that serious out here in California. So we're going to get into it all. We're going to talk about the MAGA fatigue, and we're going to talk about the rap fatigue. And I'm suffering from Larry Goodwell fatigue because I'm tired of threatening to beat your ass. I want to make that shit happen, Captain. Yeah, I'm suffering from Larry Goodwell fatigue. You ain't good, and I don't wish you well. Anyway, let's get started. So first off, let's go back. And good afternoon, chat room. My bad for being rude and not saying what's up. We got Miss Pamela in here, Markeith Collins, Brian, Sherelle Bryan. Thank y'all for joining. Thank y'all all for joining. Scotty in the building. Willie Mays, Lori, Sinister. In fact, I did not get to you. My bad, because I want to get to my topic. So let's get to it. You got this rap fatigue thing that we've been talking about. Let me play some background music. There we go. We got play some background music. Oh, I got a super chat up in here. Jordan never said, ain't a party like a Diddy party. Said? That's what I like that name. Keep singing, we shall overcome and vote for Democrats. Right. Democrats. Right. Because I'm not affiliated with either party. I'm an independent. But one thing I learned in political science was to vote for whoever's giving you something. And if ain't nobody giving you nothing, then you ain't got nothing to vote for. You dig? We'll get to the demon rats. So, Nashville checking in. So, but let's get into the rap fatigue part. What is rap fatigue? We're gonna put a button on this issue, and then we're gonna move on to talking about the MAGA fatigue. Rap fatigue is something that is gotten exacerbated because after Megan Thee Stallion just released her newest album. We talked about that the other day. Where she redid Total's Kissing You, and it was ratchet as hell. What we're seeing right now is overall in America, and it has to do with the MAGA fatigue too. It all ties in. What we're seeing is in different areas, people are getting tired of the status quo. The status quo is no longer working for the people. And in different people's area of interest, you're starting to see a rebellion in different people's areas of interest. Larry, I'll take that thanks for the super chat, Larry. But I'll take that $4, fold it up in my pocket. I'll take that 99 cents and make it all pennies and throw them hoes at your bitch ass. Knock your ass out with a face full of pennies, nigga. But back to what we was talking about. The rap fatigue and overall people fatigue is people are tired of the status quo. The status quo is no longer serving the people. And things have gone too far in one direction. And music is something that we, the people that are indigenous to the American soil. Yes, I say that. And if anybody got an issue with it, tell me your indigenous people's music that America loves. I'll wait. Our music, and I've proven that time and time again in my music talks, no need to go over that right now, that our American music is uniquely ours. And for Black Americans, the music is where we get our spiritual communication from and also physical communication from to know what's going on in the world. Swing low, from swing low, sweet chariot, to swing down, sweet chariot, stop and let me ride. That's how we get our communication. You know, in LA, fuck the police. That came at a time the crash unit was laying hell on the citizens of LA, the black citizens. So we had a worldwide communication go out. Fuck the police, and a song called Dope Man. Letting people know about the dope man and how dope man at the end of the day, if you keep dealing this dope to our people, you gonna get whatever you gonna get a slug in your culo, according to the song. And songs like Fight the Power, both the Ozzy Brothers and Public Enemy. Strange Fruit, Billie Holiday. We've always had music of communication, and not just communication, we've always had party music. See, they understand this. We know it subconsciously, they know it consciously. When black people dance, black dance happens between 101 beats a minute and 127. That's our range of dancing. The people, some of us that are into the house, and y'all dance, at 130, 140. White folks dance at 160. All that bouncing around shit. Looking like a fun house. They dance at that tempo. We dance at this tempo. This tempo we dance at. Y'all saw how y'all just got up and started dancing? That's at 116 BPMs. We don't get music. What was the last song you've heard at that tempo? What was the last song that you've heard at that tempo? What they've done was they slowed the dance music down to 90, 85, made it more vibey. I remember my club days. I remember back in my days when I used to club, this song was hot. This shit was played every night. Every night.
mighty power of that chopper, sister, brother, son, daughter, father, motherfucker, copper, got the master.
Great song to vibe out to. But nobody was dancing to that. I want y'all to notice this. I'm 44. My clubbing years was 2000 to 2014 when I got married. Those were the years I was in the clubs. Larry will tell you in the chat room, I was in the clubs 5 nights a week, every club. I'm front door access. So I was in the streets, and my generation wasn't dancing. This is the tempo of pulling your phone out and texting. This is even before Twitter got popped off. This was pre-Twitter, pre-Instagram. This would just be when we had the Sidekick 2. You texted somebody when that song. You texted somebody when that song. You dig? At least this is the dancing shit stopped. 3-6 Mafia, Yin Yang Twins were the last years of dancing. These were the last.
Strap around your ankle, call that bitch Bojangles, juice like fruit or douche like Brooklyn.
Those were the last years that people was dancing when that was out. After that, it was just basically vibey music. Playing this shit in the club. I just needed time to do. That's nothing for you to dance to. Even NWA with all the militant talk that they had on that album.
Yo, give me something to dance to.
They still had this. That's a LA techno before G-Funk took over. Even NWA has something to dance to. Rap, hip-hop culture had music like this.
Rain like wood. Do you have sex or do you make love? How do you live? Do you give it? Do you take love? Girl, you're so fun.
Y'all, am I making sense? Since rap has taken over already over the last 15 years, that fun dance music is gone. So not only do we not get any kind of messages of what's going on, we're not getting anything reflected of what's going on in the society. What major rapper had anything to say about the pandemic? Think about that. All these rappers, who had anything to say about what we went through? Were there any songs that reflected what we were going through when things were shutting down? Any songs showing concern, curiosity, anything to reflect what was going on? The pandemic was big times. You had all kind of music about the Vietnam War. You had all kind of music about the crack epidemic. You had all kind of music about the Reagan administration. Did we have anything to reflect what we went through during the pandemic? I'm not speaking for other cultures. I'm speaking for ours. Our culture has always needed music to reflect the times that they're in. The only person I saw do something close, and hip-hop don't even acknowledge him, that's Anderson .Paak. Anderson .Paak wrote a song called Lockdown during the pandemic, and I loved it. He had a song called Lockdown. But I guess maybe since Anderson .Paak's a drummer instead of a beat maker, hip hop don't really acknowledge him. This shit right here.
Who said it was a lockdown? Goddamn lie. Oh my, time heals all, but you out of time now.
That shit was hot. But that was really, we didn't get nothing. What is it? Hip hop, it ain't giving us no love music. It's giving you lust, but not having a connection, a genuine connection to your lady. Kind of none of that. At least on the blue carpet treatment, I'm on Rhythm and Gangsta. At least on Rhythm and Gangsta, you had shit like this. This is real love music that used to be in hip hop. Let me down, oh girl, gotta have a girl like you. Or if you around Larry, I was playing that shit in the car one time. This nigga Larry was hitting the blunt. I gotta have a bitch like you. I was like, you sorry son of a bitch, Larry. Larry ain't shit. You know what I mean? But hip hop used to have that. Like Rhythm and Gangsta is a very, to me, underrated album. That whole album. They even had a heartbreak song on the album.
To all the fellas, don't hit her. Shake that hoe, real spit.
Bitch, I'm gone.
Bitch, I'm gone.
I can't take it no more. I can't get
Through to you. I love that shit. Bitch, I'm gone. Snoop said, don't hit her. Just shake her. Bitch, I'm gone. I'm through with you. Y'all don't know about, see y'all niggas, y'all don't know enough about music, dog. Like, especially over here on the West Coast. You got the range of emotions. Snoop, man, yeah, Snoop be flip-flopping politically, and Snoop ain't his whole career, he ain't never said nothing that's constructive as far as like building the greater society outside of a song here and there. But I'm bringing up Snoop for a reason. There was music you can dance to, and there was also music that you can that expressed emotion. What's up, Kendall, in the chat? There was music that expressed emotion. You dig?
It's time to slow it down instead of
Face, let me guess, you prefer to wear cotton. I can tell, cause you like squatting.
Uh-huh. And then for the smokers,
Take this drink and hit this weed. Two-step with me, let's slip to the...
that was a club song. That's something you could at least vibe to. Two-step to. But by the time we got to 2007, 8, that shit was gone. So let's review again what has left us. Not only did the militancy leave us, the party left. Nothing to dance to. And the love and affection is gone. What was it replaced with? Kill a nigga, shoot a nigga. They hating on me because my car's better than yours. I got more money than you. Money, phone bricks, and ratchetness. People are tired. And the production, it used to be at least a sample. Pharrell, early Kanye, you know, these cats, Dilla, they know how to quick, you know, the Justice League, all them niggas. 1500. They knew how to grab a sample, Terrace Martin. They knew how to grab a sample and make some music around it, you know? Dr. Dre, Daz. They used to know how to take a sample, like, let me give you an example. And it don't take, you don't have to be too much. Like, this song right here was sampled by the Dog Pound. That's Love Will Find a Way by Lionel Richie. They flipped that. See how they beef the drums up? Just beef the drums up a little bit.
Trying to creep in the house through the cut for what? So I won't be seen by none of the homies, but the homie Nate Dogg spots me and say, yo, what's happening? No, you don't know me. No.
There was like a genius way to flip music, you know? When you, versus when you.
Seems like it's passing by. Just believe it.
Take the groove and make something new. That used to be, if you're going to sample like that. It's going to be a refined, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Boom. It went from that to tick, 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 30-second note, boom. Tick, 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 30-second note, boom. Tick, 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 16 note, boom. And you not only, okay, so let's review it. You take away the love and affection. Even LL Cool J had I Need Love. That go back to the early days of hip hop. I remember growing hearing this shit in LA. You heard this all the time. Matter of fact, this was the first song I learned on my Casio keyboard back in '86. Just the chords being used. It's setting the spirit. This is emotion.
Believe pretending that I'm true, holding in my laugh as I say that.
So hip hop used to give you that. You used to get the love and affection. You used to get Fight the Power. You used to get Dance. The things that give us life. Standing up for yourself. Songs of self-pride and dignity. When that shit came on, you just made you feel when Arrested Development came out. I remember how I felt when they first came out. They gave you a sense of pride and dignity, just the feel of the music. You know what I mean? Hip hop used to give us something. I'm making a case to why we're now experiencing rap fatigue. Where do you find this in the mainstream, outside of a Kendrick Lamar song here and there? I mean, I'm talking about overall. We need that. We are culturally, we don't have, I know our culture isn't spoken on much, but that's part of my job to do here as an armchair anthropologist. That's what our job is, to really, we have to acknowledge our culture and continue to acknowledge it. And culturally, music is where we get these messages. And I think that, you know, with Meg Thee Stallion having, you know, with Meg Thee Stallion being with Klay Thompson and her getting in a real relationship, a lot of the women out there who were they may have been 10 years ago on that I don't need a man stuff, you gotta realize, Meg Thee Stallion, your fan base, people grow up. And there are people out there, although that's been the predominant language out there, the people grow up. And so that same fan base that was on that I don't need a man shit in 2016, 2017, they have been out there in this cold ass world. In this post-pandemic where groceries is just as expensive as fast food. People are starting to see that all that shit ain't working. And it's not all the way Meg Thee Stallion's fault. You know who pushes her? Jay-Z and them people. You always got to blame the label because the label's what approves that comes out. But she still fought to be over there. She could have stayed with Carl Crawford, being independent and being an artist, but she chose to fuck over Carl Crawford and get up under this Jay-Z regime. So I don't give her no passes. She actually broke a contract to be where she's at. So it is what it is. But when you hear shit like this
shit be easy when you find somebody on your level. My niggas say my lady, he never say my bitch. Some niggas make excuses, he make that shit exist.
And when you hearing this kind of shit,
let me talk to you right quick. Alright, let's skip this.
Let's skip the small talk. Like when people are tired. People are tired of this. And later on Patreon today at 4 p.m. Pacific time, we're going to do a reading show on Patreon. We're going to read all the stuff that's going on. We're going to read why this is happening on Patreon today at 4 p.m. Pacific time. So if you're on the reading tier, get ready. At 4 p.m. Pacific time, we're going to do a read. We're going to pull the cards out and really break all this shit down. But this is why we're experiencing rap fatigue. And I'm not saying this kind of music didn't exist. Ratchet music has always existed. Going back to the blues. Going back, ratchet songs go all the way back to, back to the beginning. Big Mama Thornton had ratchet songs. You dig what I'm saying? Let me give you an example. Ruth Brown. Let me look up that song from Ruth Brown. Do you know that there was a black woman that basically gave there was a black woman that basically put Atlantic Records, because I want to give some historical context. I'm not here to all the way shit on rap and act like rap is the first one. We've always had this, but we used to always have balance. We used to always have balance. Let me show y'all. Let me show y'all. Let me see here. Let me show y'all something. No, not that one. Let me change that. This is Ruth Brown. This is a song she had called 5, 10, 15 hours. She's talking about smashing, and not her husband, for 5, 10, 15. They didn't say fuck back then. So the word back then we hear the word love, that means fuck. And this was the song, and this was the woman that established Atlantic Records. She put Atlantic Records on. But she did it with what you can call a ratchet song. Samurai Show said that's why 1996 had timeless music across genres. Right. 96 was a great year. But so I'm not here to say that ratchet music started with Megan Thee Stallion. But what I am saying is there was balance. And the industry forgot the balance part. And then on top of that, these motherfuckers is just straight up punks. A lot of them. Look at this shit. Where are my bookmarks? Did y'all see this? What was this shit about? Y'all saw Young Thug meet with the rabbi? Go on, Rocky. Rocky looking for my wife. He about to realize she ain't here in about 2 minutes. He gonna buy the side. Whining like a motherfucker. She ain't here, homeboy. But look at this. Talking about rap. Do y'all remember when rappers used to meet with Farrakhan? Rappers, this is the same guy that Kanye met with. Rappers went from meeting with Farrakhan to meeting with rabbis. I want y'all to think about that for a second. Rappers went from having Khalid Muhammad on their album and meeting with Farrakhan to meeting with rappers, to meeting with rabbis. 2 rappers in 1 week. And by the way, this is the same rapper who chose this artwork for his music, making himself white. This is why we have rap fatigue. How real is rap fatigue? Raise your hand if you're tired of this shit. Nothing to dance to, nothing to love to, nothing to think, nothing that makes me think, nothing that excites my emotions. Raise your hand if you're tired of that. I mean, by now, you would think a lot the way in the early 90s, how they had Khalid Muhammad and Farrakhan on, you would think some rapper today would have at least had Dr. Umar lay down before at least back when we thought the school had a chance of getting built. You'd have think some rapper from back then would have had him drop some bars the way they had Wesley Muhammad and Cash from the Nation dropping bars back in the day. Is that too much? You would think that a rapper would have had a song about by now how the Democrats be screwing us over, and they could have gotten some lines from a Needy Fuller. Has any rapper ever put Needy Fuller? Dr. Paul Anderson? Hell, as much as these rappers talk about women, you would think they would have pushed Shahrazad Ali in something. So yes, rap fatigue is real. Real than a motherfucker. Tired of this fake, tough, no love, backstabbing ass environment. Now these motherfuckers are turned into podcasters and they bring it onto the internet. You see what's going on over in what's his name getting out of jail, and Jim Jones saying there's no forgiveness, and you niggas is old. How you gonna be 50 years old and still ain't learning to forgive? I mean, just childish shit. Yeah, back in the 90s, they were putting out Trump's lyrics. I want to address something that was said, because this is something that, yeah, Pac did call out Donald Trump and Bill Clinton and Bob Dole. But let me qualify the Donald Trump stuff, and this isn't to give an excuse. This is me speaking as an artist. Donald Trump wasn't a politician in the 90s, 80s, hell, in the 2000s. Did nobody think? Matter of fact, when he ran for politics for president, most people didn't take him serious as recently as 2015. Remember that? He wasn't a politician. When glamour rap, bling rap, and rap about hoes and clothes, about how much money I got, as an artist, instead of saying, I have all this money, you just drop in a word. And being Americans, growing up in the 80s, all you heard was Donald Trump's name. We didn't even know why the motherfucker was famous. But you saw Donald Trump everywhere. So if I'm going to write a song about how much money I got, I could either write 4 bars trying to explain how much money I got, or I could just say I'm Donald Trump. Because back then, Donald Trump's face was associated with wealth and ownership. Remember, America loved Donald Trump up until 2015. America loved Donald Trump. Let's never forget that. America loved him. So you would hear, the references you would hear in music back then would be Donald Trump or Robin Leach. Remember, lifestyles of the rich and famous. We're here with this new $1 million home. Remember, even Ice Cube had Robin Lynch, where you and your trick bitch can get a hotel on Figueroa. So, in today's context, it can be seen as a bad thing dropping Donald Trump's name, of course. But if we're dealing with 1994, nobody knew that motherfucker was going to be a politician. But he was everywhere, so you're going to associate his name, Warren Buffett, and then later on they went into dropping Bill Gates' name. That's all that was. Yeah, Donald Trump was the face of success. So I could either write a whole 16-bar phrase about my success, or I could just say I'm more successful than Donald Trump. Now I don't have to explain the rest, because you already know him is successful. And if I'm saying I'm more successful next to him, you get the picture. Now the rest of my song I can write about whatever I'm talking about. That's what that was about. But let's get back to it with MAGA and Donald Trump. MAGA has turned its back on Donald Trump officially. Nick Fuentes was talking about it. You see Candace Owens talking about it, and those are the 2 biggest voices on the right. But you also see not just them, overall on Twitter. Ben Shapiro lost a few 100,000 subs. It's like the people who are MAGA, who are like Trump MAGA, they're losing subscribers right now. They're losing influence, and they're losing it fast. And the anti-Trump MAGA, that voice is getting louder and louder. So you see what's going on now. Trump and these Epstein files. You see what's going on with that. Trump, in an interview earlier this week, he was with Laura Loomer. And Trump basically said that he's going to expand H-1B and bring in more Chinese. Let me see if I can find that clip. This is what they doing over here. Let's get this. Let's get this one from the Hill. I don't think the Hill's going.
In talent, when
Here, look at this.
President Trump, who calmly, rationally, and
this is something right here that had this right here this past week. This set MAGA off right here.
concisely explained to Fox News host Laura Ingraham why the H-1B visa program, which allows high-skilled foreign laborers,
when you can't flood
laborers to come to this country to work, is here to stay. Watch.
Mind you, H-1B visa is not just high skill. They're using the H-1B visa program to hire college professors to teach American history. I covered that on this very show a few months ago. Yeah, they're hiring H-1B visa people to teach American history at American universities and to coach baseball. It ain't just highly skilled. They come for all American jobs. But listen to this.
Watch this.
B visa thing will not be a big priority for your administration, because if you want to raise wages for American workers, you can't flood the country with tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of foreign workers.
You also do have to bring in talent. When
we
a
have
country
plenty of talented people
no, you
here.
don't. No, you don't.
We don't have talented people here.
No, you don't have certain talents, and people have to learn. You can't take people off an unemployment line and say, "I'm going to put you into a factory where we're going to make missiles."
That's literally what America did during World War II. Trump literally just said, you can't do what America did in World War II. Let me play this part again, and then I'm going to break it all the way down.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
We don't have talented people here.
No, you don't have certain talents, and people have to learn. You can't take people off an unemployment line and say, "I'm going to put you into a factory where we're going to make missiles."
Yes, you can. That's how the last time America was in this time, this gilded age that we're in right now, that's how America recovered. Franklin Delano Roosevelt, he put America to work. Do y'all know that not only did they pass a new deal with America, that the 8-hour work week, entitlements, Social Security, retirement, they also packaged in that new deal, putting Americans back to work. Do you know that they made Ford shut down some of its car making facilities so that they can make bombs? They literally shut down auto plants to make bombs. They tried, when the New Deal was initially passed, the reason why service industry jobs and farming jobs can pay those crazy low wages is because to get the New Deal passed, they made sure that the jobs that black people dominated, service industry, crops, was not covered under the New Deal so that they can continue to pay black people slave labor. And that's when they created tips. Tips were created because when liberals were saying, hey, black people need to get paid more, the conservatives said, well, shit, you come out your pocket. And liberals like, we ain't paying these niggas no extra shit. Let's let them have tips. That's how that happened. Look it up. Well, when World War II happened, they could no longer keep black people out of the workforce. So that's when another wave of the Great Migration happened. They had the first wave, the second, the third wave. The first wave, always remember the first wave of the Great Migration was from plantations to major cities in the South. From plantations to New Orleans, from plantations to Memphis, from plantations to Birmingham, from plantations to Atlanta. That was the first Great Migration, 1866 to 1900. The second Great Migration was after World War II. They started letting some black people up to the top for this wartime economy, but really it was that Second World War in the 30s where LA, all over, they had to manufacture. So America literally rescued itself from the Great Depression by putting Americans back to work. They didn't bring, they brought in Europeans, but they didn't bring in no people from non-European nations, so they had to give black people them jobs. And that's how America built the greatest middle class the world economy has ever seen between 1940 and 1965. That shit was built off of American labor, retraining people who were manufacturers here, getting put in through training to learn. That's literally how America built out the Midwest. Do y'all know? I mean, really the West. Do y'all know like the state university system? Cal State Northridge here in LA, Mississippi State, Kansas State. A lot of these universities, Iowa State, they were literally built to train Americans on the jobs that were available in that area, the jobs or industries. That's why a lot of your Midwest universities focus on agriculture. A lot of your, you know what I mean? JPL and Caltech is out here in LA because a lot of Nazis doing Operation Paperclip were moved to LA and moved to the Palisades and Laguna Beach. And a lot of your tech jobs are in LA and also in the Bay, Hewlett Packard, all those ex-Nazis. So the universities teach those skills, specialize in that. MIT over in Boston. So the whole American public university system was built to train Americans and retrain Americans on how to work the industries available in their area. Now Trump is saying we got to bring in 600,000 Chinese to the university systems. So this is a fact of American history. And a lot of these Trump-tards understand American history. And so they heard him say this and this.
Sometimes necessary.
They raided because they wanted illegal immigrants out. They had people from South Korea that made batteries all their lives. You know, making batteries are very complicated. It's not an easy thing and very dangerous. A lot of explosions, a lot of problems. They had like 500 or 600 people, early stages, to make batteries and to teach people how to do it. Well, they wanted them to get out of the country. You're going to need that, Laura. I mean, I know you and I disagree on this. You can't just say...
Hold on. He's saying that Americans need Koreans how to create batteries when literally Dayton, Ohio was built up off the fucking AC Delco battery factory. Who in the hell make better batteries than Americans when Americans were taught how to make batteries? Is that not what the university system and the public education system is for? So he ran on MAGA, he ran on kick the immigrants all out. Now he's saying that Americans don't know how to make batteries when we taught the fucking Koreans how to make goddamn batteries. Who's making batteries first? America or China? America or Korea? America or Japan? America or Taiwan? Who? You dig what I'm saying? That's why I never, even though I was completely against the Democrats, that's why I never endorsed this jackass. I knew it was coming, but I was just happy I just wanted to see his base experienced what we all knew what was coming. Those retarded sons of bitches. But I gotta say this. I'll give the right wingers this credit. They're less retarded than Democrat niggas. They're less retarded than Democrats. Because the Democrats still were arguing. They ain't said, and here in California, 17,000 illegals had their CDLs revoked. People, because in California, you cannot ask if a person is a citizen of this country or not. Governor Newsom put that law in. And you have all these truck driving schools that's teaching all these illegals and putting all these illegals on the road and killing motherfuckers out here. California's under gentrification and mass homelessness, and the Democrats, ain't none of these niggas asking Newsom, hey, hold up. We have all this unemployment, and we need all these people to work, and you not training them? At least the Republicans are smart enough to be like, hey, what about us here? I'll give them that credit. We call MAGA stupid. Yeah, they in a lot of ways they are. But they ain't that goddamn stupid. At least they're holding him to what he initially said. And they're not taking no for an answer. I gotta give them that credit. Because niggas are still making excuses for a half-dead president that let all these motherfuckers over here to begin with. Nigga Blackman Bain said it's a lot of unqualified 5 foot tall idiots driving big rigs running the meeting. Right. I have seen some little short motherfuckers hop about them trucks. And what that does is, for the millions of Americans with CDLs, it levels off their wages. And the passing of the buck, when they hire these illegals, these businesses do not give you a discount. They're saving a third, 2/3 of how much money they're saving on each load. They're not passing that savings to the consumer. They eat those profits. That savings is not passed to the consumer. So if y'all gonna do this shit, not pass the savings to us, man, you pay them truck drivers. Because if you pay them truck drivers, now them truck drivers got more money to spend on it with me and my business. But now the truck drivers can provide for a family, so now they kids can be enrolled in basketball or football instead of running the streets. Y'all see how that works? You want to cut down crime? Give parents greater access to resources where they can afford to put their kids into stuff. Have jobs that pay well enough for them to live in a decent neighborhood and put their kids in daycare and all that shit. That's how it works. That's the formula. But MAGA fatigue is real. And it seems as if the Republican Party, the base, it seems as if the Republican base is the first to wake up. But that's because they're the ones in power. They have no excuses. They're in power and they hold the House and the Senate, and we see what's going on. The same way the Democrats didn't have any excuses. Biden held power and had the House and the Senate for 2 years and didn't do nothing with it. But the Democrats was like, well, at least he's not Trump. You don't see the Republicans as, oh, what's up, Brandy in the building? You don't see Republicans saying, well, at least he's not Kamala. No, they saying hell no. We want the jobs. Hobbs. And I'm just saying, black folks, let us sit back and watch. This is not our fight. We didn't put this decrepit motherfucker in there, and they don't listen to us anyway. When it comes to what we say things should go. I'm sure about black people who be like, we gotta say something. Don't nobody listen to your black ass unless you saying something that a liberal wants to be said. And if the liberal wants it to be said, it ain't nothing for your black ass good. You gotta say something. No, you don't. Who the fuck is you, nigga? They don't like you. Courtney Smith said, and the divide MAGA shows everyone that MAGA is not a cult like that. Half MAGA is calling Trump out. Right. It's not a cult. They are really calling this motherfucker out right now. Well, Western Express and other truck companies are lowballing rates for American drivers around 48 cents a mile. God damn, Vic. 48 cents a mile? Hell no. Wow. That's nuts. But we are going to do a reading on this on Patreon at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're going to do a reading on this. Because I'm going to ask the card. I'm going to do one quick read on it right now. Sometimes I do the shuffle of cards and ask. See, this is a brand new deck. It's a brand new deck. Everything's in order. Hasn't been shuffled yet. Brand new deck. This is a brand new. This might be the first time this deck of cards has been shuffled. This might be the first time. I grab new cards all the time because I don't want people thinking, oh, you got some magic cards. Nah. I open up new sets of cards all the time. And we're going to do a reading on this on Patreon at 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. But I do want to know real quick, what does this mean? Because the way I see it as, this is not, we talked about this since the beginning of the year. We talked about this. I said this is a 9 of hearts here. What did I say? The same team is going to be fighting. People who are supposed to be on the same side are about to be fighting. What the fuck is going on right now, people? How many times do I got to get proven right, motherfucker? Excuse the cussing, but I feel good. MAGA is split. MAGA is not acting in one way, form, or fashion. You got black folks turning on hip-hop, finally. You got Roland Martin and Charlemagne the Fraud going at each other. Same side. What does this mean, y'all? Ooh, Jack of Spades. The way I can interpret that is this is the ultimate liar, and also the ultimate thief. I can see what that means. Everybody's getting stolen from, is what this is saying. And this is about time that the Jack of Spades be revealed. The Jack of Spades is the one that's saying, look over there. If you notice, pay attention to how the Jack of Spades is laid out. You see he has a scepter up front, but his other hand is behind his back. That tells you that the message is on the card right there. And what that means, that is coming to you as an authority. But it's something going on behind his back. And if you look at the spade itself is a tip of a spear. So the Jack of Spades is doing this and saying that while that's going on. And what I'm revealing, what I'm saying is this we've all been getting stolen from by both parties. Now, in these last few months of the year, going into next year, that shit is being exposed. And you see MAGA waking up, and it's not going to be too long before Democrats wake up. Democrats, y'all going to wake up. The Democrat base is going to wake up. Now, the Democrat base may not wake up until 2028 when there's a new president in. Because with all this shit going on right now, a Democrat's probably going to be elected in 2028. And Democrats are going to be running on that same sexuality shit when Americans are up for some real shit right now. So It may take a Democrat president for Democrats to wake up. But with that being said, before 2030, the people will be woke up to the games being played. Like, you know, people gotta understand that we being played by both sides. We are getting played by both sides. You dig what I'm saying?
Games people play, night or day, they're just not matching what they should.
The games people play. And that's what's going on right now. People are being exposed for the games that they play. All right? I'll see y'all on Patreon at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time so that we can read. No, I'll take it back. I got to do something. Make that 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 8 o'clock Eastern. We're going to be on Patreon, and we're going to go more in depth reading what's going on, all right? Until then, I'll holla at y'all.